So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. Look, the purpose of this lecture series is very simple. We want you to get the much needed MCQ practice, and we want you to get that MCQ practice from current affairs. You see, current affairs forms a very important portion of your UPSC examination. In fact, 40 to 50% of your paper is directly or indirectly related to current affairs, whether that's prelims or mains. Current affairs reigns supreme. Now, as far as prelims are concerned, or prelims is concerned, well, you cannot cross this exam without getting the enough MCQ practice. No matter how much you have studied, no matter how much knowledge you have, you wouldn't be able to cross this exam if you haven't practiced enough MCQs. And since current affairs form a very important portion of prelims, therefore, to help you guys practice MCQs from current affairs, we have come out with this lecture series. Look, if you are fairly regular with this lecture series, if you make it a part of your daily routine, if you make it a daily habit, then 4 to 5 MCQs would add up to more than 1200 MCQs by the time you're ready for your next year's prelims examination. And 1200 MCQs from current affairs alone, not polity, economics, geography, history, no, from current affairs alone. 1200 MCQs are more than sufficient. So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. Alright, enough of the introduction. Now let's straight away jump into the discussion, starting with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding potato crop in India. Potatoes are a tropical crop that is mostly grown during Kharif season in India. Madhya Pradesh is the largest producer of potato in India, followed by West Bengal. India is the second largest producer of potatoes in the world after USA. Okay, so how many of the above statements are correct? Now look, recently potatoes were in the news because potato prices have skyrocketed, especially in states like Odisha and West Bengal, because of potato shortages in the country. That is why potatoes were in the news. Now, potatoes are a temperate crop. Remember, not tropical, temperate crop. And they require cold or cool temperatures to grow. Temperatures should be between 15 to 25 degrees Celsius for potatoes to grow. So it's not a tropical crop, it's a temperate crop. And it is generally grown during Rabi season because Rabi season coincides with winter season in India. So it is generally grown during Rabi seasons. Yes, there are some parts of the country, hilly areas basically, which have cool temperatures during Kharif season as well. Their potatoes can be grown in Kharif season as well, like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Nilgiri hills of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. But mostly, it is a Rabi crop, okay, and a temperate crop. So this statement is false. Now, Uttar Pradesh is the largest producer of potatoes in India, followed by West Bengal. West Bengal is second largest, that is true. But it's not Madhya Pradesh, it's Uttar Pradesh. Now, globally, India is the second largest producer of potatoes. That is true. But the largest producer is not USA, it's China. So this statement is also false. No statement is correct. The answer is D. Alright. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding availability of refined copper in India. India is import dependent for 30 to 40% of its refined copper requirements. Okay. 80% of refined copper imports in India are sourced from China. Producers all over the world are barred from exporting refined copper to India if they are not certified by Bureau of Indian Standards. Which of the above statements are correct? Now look, as you guys all know, that copper is basically mined. Okay, so copper is basically mined from copper ores. Then this copper ore is smelted and refined copper is produced. Okay, pure copper or refined copper. And this refined copper is used as raw material in production of electrical wires, electrical circuits, electrical components basically. Okay, so copper is mined from copper ore, then it is refined and then it is used as raw material. Now, 30 to 40% of refined copper in India is imported. So India is import dependent for 30 to 40% of its refined copper requirements. And India's refined copper requirements are basically usage as raw material only. It's basically refined copper requirements are related to raw material requirements of these industries. Okay, so this statement is correct. Now, 80% of the imported refined copper comes not from China but from Japan. Yes, Japan is the biggest supplier of refined copper to India. So this statement is false. Now, recently, Government of India decided that refined copper in India should be of good quality. For that, they issued quality control order. Okay, basically, Ministry of Mines issued quality control order for copper. Okay, what happened was that there is an organization called Bureau of Indian Standards, right? It has issued various standards for copper, that copper in available in India should have these standards. Okay, now the quality control order stipulates that all exporters exporting refined copper to India should be certified by Bureau of Indian Standards, because Bureau of Indian Standards would ensure that these suppliers supply good quality copper. If you are not certified by BIS, you won't be able to export refined copper to India, right? So this was mentioned in quality control order, and it is applicable in India from 1st December 2024. So it's currently applicable. So this is correct. 1 and 3 only, C. Question 3. Consider the following statements regarding Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. It is a statutory body that functions as National Standards Body of India. It functions under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay. It represents India in International Organization for Standardization. All right. Now look, BIS is a National Standards Body of India. That is correct. It is a statutory body established under BIS Act 2016. Statutory body is the one which is established by a law of parliament. So it was established by BIS Act. So this is correct. Now it functions under Ministry of Commerce and Industry? Absolutely not. It functions under Ministry of Consumer Affairs. Okay, so it functions under that. This is false. BIS, because it's a national standards body of India, so it represents India in international organizations for standardization. Okay, so ISO is a body where different standards body from different countries of the world come get together and deliberate. So India is represented by BIS in that. So this is correct. 1 and 3 only. Okay. Question 4. Which of the following statements is are correct regarding Hornbill Festival of December, organized by Nagaland state government to boost unity among various tribes in the state? This 10-day festival is celebrated by 14 recognized Naga tribes and is famous for Tutsi. Okay. It is a centuries old festival that is part of Naga tribal heritage and culture. Okay. Now listen. Nagaland is a state in India, and this state has many tribes. Collectively, most of these tribes are called the Naga tribes. Okay. Now, most of these Naga tribes have their own culture and heritage, and they consider themselves separate. And most of the times, there is a sort of rivalry between these tribes, right? Now, if these tribes are fighting amongst themselves, then Nagaland wouldn't prosper. So, to promote unity, fraternity among all these Naga tribes, Government of Nagaland in 2000 decided to organize a state festival, a 10-day state festival called the Hornbill Festival in the month of December every year. Okay, so Hornbill Festival is celebrated. In this festival, the 14 recognized Naga tribes come together. They celebrate their heritage culture. They show their heritage and culture, dances, music, and everything, foods, everything. Okay, so this 10-day festival is celebrated by 14 recognized Naga tribes and is famous for Tutsi. Now, Tutsi is a local rice beer that is famous among these tribes. So yes, Tutsi is generally served in this Hornbill festival. Okay, but remember, this festival is organized by Nagaland state government to boost unity among various tribes. Okay, it is a 10-day festival celebrated by 14 Naga tribes and is famous for Tutsi. But this festival was started in 2000. It's not a centuries old festival, and it's not part of Naga tribal heritage or culture. No, Hornbill festival was not celebrated in Nagaland before 2000. It is a government initiative. All right. Now, recently, why this Hornbill Festival was in the news? Because in this festival, rice beer, tutsi, local beer is served. But 87% of Nagaland is Christian, and all these Christian churches prohibit alcohol. They don't want their followers to have alcohol. In fact, Nagaland is a dry state. Alcohol is prohibited in Nagaland. But government of Nagaland permits alcohol only in these 10 days. Okay. Now these churches, these Christian groups are saying that alcohol or rice beer shouldn't be even served in these 10 days also. Nagaland should be a state that is free from alcohol, which is the case. Nagaland is free from alcohol except this 10-day festival. Okay, so 1 and 2. A. And last, which of the following statements is are correct regarding Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak? It is a law that will replace the 90-year-old Aircraft Act 1934. This law gives more powers to central government with respect to aircraft regulation as compared to the Aircraft Act. Okay. Now, recently, Rajya Sabha passed by voice vote Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak. This was earlier passed by Lok Sabha in August. And after getting President's assent, this will become a law. Now, this law will replace the 90-year-old Aircraft Act. Now, Aircraft Act was a law that used to regulate aircrafts, civil aviation industry in India. Okay. Now, this civil aviation industry was earlier regulated by Aircraft Act, but now after the passage of Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak, it would be regulated by Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak. So, this is correct. Now, certain changes were made to the Aircraft Act under Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak. Under Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidheyak, central government would have more powers. Earlier under Aircraft Act, they did not have that many powers, but now central government would have more powers to regulate the civil aviation industry. So this is also correct. Both statements are correct. The correct answer is C. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture also. And by revision, I mean taking a look at written detailed solutions of to all these MCQs. Okay. The written detailed solutions to all these MCQs are available on our notes. Okay. So you have to revise these MCQs from our notes. Now, where are our notes available? They are available on our Telegram channel. And this Telegram channel, where can you find this Telegram channel basically? So just below this video in the comment section, you'll find a link. All you have to do is just click on that link. It will take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for not just this lecture, but all the other lectures available on our YouTube channel. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.